Taking the N train.
Not me, I'm leaving.
I actually am in New Jersey, so I took the bus. And then I got distracted by a cute dog and broke the story of our broken down car. Anyway, sorry, hi.
What kind of dog?
Our dog?
It's pretty fucking cute.
Would you say kind of a salty dog?
Oh.
No, I would not.
Would you say the opposite of a salty dog?
She's so sweet! Oh.
That is the opposite of a salty dog.
I was going for a peppery dog.
Ah, damn it.
Shit.
It was right there, and we missed it. It was the fruit was hanging right there, and we all missed it.
It's fine.
I don't include a lot of fresh fruit in my diet, frankly, so...
Well, all of your diet and stuff is pales insignificant, because we're going to jump back in.
Ah!
As soon as everyone gets into roll 20, which is...
crap. Sorry. Working on it. Sorry, I'm a mess.
It's okay. You got home like 13 seconds ago. I've been there. As while you're doing that, and just kind of as a refresher recoup for everyone, welcome back to the world of Kirinthenia.
Yeah.
You find yourselves...
Should I leave for this?
No. You get to find out what the party was up to when you weren't a part of it.
Cool.
You find yourselves in the country of Kurzfaust, one of the two countries that inhabit the northern continent of Ardenzia. Kurzfaust itself is characterized by being a bit more wild, being the newest and youngest out of all three of the countries that exist, with the three main domiciles of civilization, I guess I should say, that exist within the world. As throughout your adventuring and cultivating, you have found yourselves in and around the city of Andor, where tales of a cursed mist, nearby forest, and the promise of 10,000 gold to any individual or group that can fix the mist, brought you all together in one way, shape, or form in order to investigate. And investigate you did, fighting your way through mist that brought back cursed and forgotten images of people loved and lost, dealt psychic damage to people as they tried to cross rivers, fought a cadre of undead that were definitely not in the forest before you guys showed up, and eventually killed a dragon through some very, very lucky shots from your resident ranger, Yafno. Upon your success against the dragon, an individual, an agent from the city under the name of you're not Saria Blim.
You're right. Nor am I the god of space and time. One moment. That's my previous role.
You were encountered by an agent of the city by the name of Era Galnul, who congratulated you on your destruction of the dragon and promised you safe passage back to the city. Unfortunately, she proved to be double-cross, using her apparently unknown control over the mist to hold you all in place while her and her guards methodically killed you all.
Awkward.
The last thing your resident cleric, Rethanir, saw was the porcelain mask of her face staring at him as her knives cut through his throat. You all awoke. Not on another plane of existence, not within the forest itself, but some kind of space in between. And were approached by a hooded and shrouded figure who offered you a proposition to be sent back, deal with this real problem of the mist, and effectively get your souls back. You won't die, you won't have to you won't transition over, and you won't be the half-shell husks and hollows that you currently were when this entity, who described himself purely as death, whisked you back to your mortal coils. Through various trials and tribulations, knights wielding untold power over summoning and flame, and skulls that shot fireballs, you eventually found your way into the Silver Peak district, and you met with face to face with Lord Xandal, the newly came upon ruler of the city of Andor, who you have found out through previous knowledge had attempted a ritual to take from this death very powerful artifact known as the Fallen Flame, which, when attuned to the right individual, effectively allows them to safely transport souls to the necessary gods, namely the Raven Queen, and then to Kelimvor, god of the judge of the damned, and god and lord of the dead. This individual, decidedly not that, was perverting that power and was causing a whole bunch of shit to get fucked up where it shouldn't be. You all, despite his offer of taking the place of the knights that you slew and receiving some portion of that power with it, you all elected to hold true to your original bond to death and fought a harrowing battle against a very powerful Xandal wielding a dark magical blade and assisted by a Drake, a four-legged draconic war dog, essentially, that he was able to summon back to animation through the use of flame and the various pillars of fire around his underhall, where you all fought. While victorious, one of your party laid slain on the ground. Dinar, your dragonborn paladin, did not survive the encounter. And through a unanimous pleading from the party, the Avatar of Death brought back Dinar to you with the promise of a future favor. You all agreed to take that, knowing nothing about it. And now you all stand in this hallway. Oh, no, sorry, not hallway, but underhall. Exhausted, bloody. The charred corpse of Xandal at your feet. Dinar on the ground, eyes just open. Rethanir, his sword, which was a great sword when during the battle, had shrunk into a long sword and solidified a sword in your grasp. You stand there holding the blade. Eltor, you still have the torch made from titanite that you successfully were able to light the fallen flame with, and your cloak is singed. It definitely has some scorch marks on it, but the magical enchantment holds true. It did not.
I try and brush away any smoldering smoke and soot.
Doesn't go away.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to get this tailored.
However, it still does act as a cloak of protection. You did not lose its enchantment in trying to encompass the flame. What would you all like to do? As I move you guys to that page.
That's a cute dragon.
It wasn't quite so cute the second time we had to kill it. Anyway, so I'm holding the sword.
Yes, it's been maybe 2 minutes since Xandal has fallen. Maybe.
Loot the body?
You kind of already did it.
Look around and just kind of take stock of how people are looking and make sure Dinar's really alive.
You walk over. His eyes are closed, and as you approach, you fear the worst. While the wound on his neck, the jagged great opening that Xandal's sword had torn through, as he plunged and twisted into his throat and chest, it's closed but very fresh. And you sit there for 10-20 seconds wondering if this avatar person is going to uphold her under the bargain.
do a medicine check or anything? Make sure he's really alive.
You see breath. I was pausing for effect.
Ah, all right then.
Breath comes to him, and his eyes slowly open. Guys,
Oh.
I don't want to fight Xandal anymore.
Xandal has fallen. We have triumphed.
Oh, good. Talking hurts. Dunnar stands up.
On a scale from 1 to his hit point maximum, how does he look?
You all look fucked up.
I'm gonna use my last first level slot to cast Healing Word on Dinar.
Alrighty.
Healing him for the minimum of 5 hit points.
That's 5 more hit points than he had a moment ago, so he gives you a nod and says, "Thank you. Talking still hurts, but less now." What now? What do we do next? Where do we go? What do we do?
Well, we should probably sneak out of here before people realize we killed them.
You do speak wisdom, but how shall we go back through the sewer from whence we came?
Unless someone has better options.
Eltor, Rethanir, and Ezyaz, what's your passive perception?
17.
1 sec.
10. I'm low to the ground.
Mine is 12.
Ezyaz and Eltor, you guys continue to discuss the merits of whether or not you should go back to the sewers. Rethanir, you do hear a dull pounding on the door south of the map.
Oh, that's the way we came in through, right?
Yes.
It appears that the sewers are no longer an option. Someone is at the door.
Pounding is getting louder and more frantic.
I'm gonna look around the room for any other way to get out as I
Okay,
tell
make,
everyone.
make a quick perception check.
You should get behind the throne, out of sight. Natural 1.
Okay, so
Starting
you're
off strong.
you look around and you see flame, the smoldering corpse of Xandal, the desecrated corpse of the guard Drake dead for the second time, and you're looking for a window. You're looking, and you can't find a window. And all of a sudden, these doors shoot open. Big, heavy doors, and through them you see no less than 15 guards push their way through, along with a rather well-dressed individual, robes of pale purple and white and blue, who are all, and they all kind of like stumble, like fall. Like he kind of stumbles and falls. The guards themselves are a bit more regimented as they kind of walk through plate armor, shields, and spears, swords at their side, all looking very concerned and confused. The individual, as they come crashing in to say, "My lord, where have you been? We have heard shouting and."
He came right for us.
Who are you all? What are you doing in the underhole? Where is the lord's at?
I'm a step forward.
Natural 1 didn't give you a lot of time to get away.
No, it didn't. And just be like, because I'm Rethanir, the Lord Xandal lies dead. He was wicked and needed to die.
Guards, surround them! Surround them! And you see these 15 or so, 15 guards start moving their way up to encircle a lot of you. Do you do anything?
I don't. Yeah.
Do any of you do anything?
I'm gonna move a little bit closer.
To the guards or Rethanir? Val, who had just retrieved the alchemy jug, while that conversation was going on, went and retrieved the alchemy jug. The corner
I'm
where
glad
he
he found some use for it.
is holding onto it awkwardly, and this is he has it in his hands, holding it like this, and comes up to with you guys as these guards come around and just encircle all of you.
Actually, as they start to encircle, I am going to I guess I don't have a sheath, so I am going to slowly set the sword down on the ground, and then put my hands up.
Okay. Whip. So many people. All right. So there they are. You are now encircled, and the individual is kind of like shouting at you all ball, but like from behind the safety of the guards. I demand to know at once what you people are doing down here.
Well, as I said, we just finished slaying the wicked Lord Xandal, who was evil and needed to die. This was my hand still up.
You're telling me you've snuck into the castle to assassinate the leader of our city.
Yes, that is exactly what we did.
Very well. Guards, take them to the stockade for summary exploitation and execution upon the morrow.
Is this the law of this land, or is this your fear?
Excuse me?
How does the law of this land dictate that one treats those who are found in this situation?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. I'm great at those. Ooh, that's a natural 17 for a 21.
Here in the city, it is demanded that those faced with murder are put on trial and then, if found guilty, executed through either beheading or hanging. However, you have been found amongst the freshly dead corpse of Xandal, whom I still don't see. A body, I see a smoldering corpse. I'm assuming that was your work. In his personal underchambers. Now, were you in the dregs of Leathentown, in the poultry shops and streets of the market district? Maybe, then yes. You would get a smither of the law on your side. You, however, are in our seat of power. So, you can come, have one more day on this earth before you're executed, or you can die now. Unless you give me what gave him his power.
What do you mean?
It's no secret he was procuring vile experiments and misdeeds beneath the castle. One could hear the screams every time they came down here. He had something. I want to know what it was. Generally, you have to ask if you believe him, but I'll say okay.
Okay.
If this time it's fine.
You can let me know what I am able to deduce based on my roll.
Make an insight check.
That's not good. That's an 11.
He's in a position of power.
Okay. I just kind of look over my shoulder at Eltor and shrug.
I promise you we know nothing about this.
Make a deception check.
$24.
Shit.
He rolled a 9. Well, so then fine. Tell me who paid you. What are you doing here? Who wishes the Lord dead?
Still keep looking at Eltor. Have to step slightly to the side.
We were working at powers higher than our own.
I assume so. You hired killers don't normally act that way.
Weren't exactly hired, but following a more divine purpose.
The gods sent you.
The gods sent us, and I put my hand on Rethanir's shoulders to restore balance.
Like both hands on his shoulders, like you're about to hop up for a piggyback, or like just one?
He has to crouch down, so I can put one hand on his shoulder.
Okay.
Kind of pats my back first, and it takes me a moment to realize what he's trying to do, and then I crouch down really awkwardly.
It's very awkward.
The Lord of Death sent all of us to restore balance, and unfortunately Xandal was his prey.
As you say that, both Rethanir and Eltor, I would like you both to make religion checks really quick.
Ah, shit. Any advantage for being the chosen one?
Nah. You don't get disadvantage.
Supposed chosen one.
So, you have a drink? You need more drink?
Guinness?
Yo, Guinness?
Don't worry about it. Religion 16.
Okay. Eltor, as far as you know, Kelimvor is the primary god of death in this area. Rethanir. Kelimvor is widely accepted to be the guide and judge of the damned in the southern continent of Dameska. And the northern continent of Edenzia, the Raven Queen, is the deity that more people worship when it comes to the transition and interment. So
Gotcha.
you know, as Eltor starts talking about being the chosen of Kelimvor, that might not work as well as a convincing argument.
I didn't ever actually mention the god's name.
God as opposed to goddess, then. So you kind of like catch him like as he's saying God, and yes.
Goddess. Yes. I will then haltingly say, yes, the Raven Queen herself commissioned us in this task. Super uncomfortably.
It hurts. It hurts to say on the inside.
Kind of say it through clenched teeth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Subject us to whatever magics or interrogations you must, but this is the truth.
Fine. You will still go to the Copperstone Stockade, and there you will sit until the Council Governed decides your fate on the morrow. Take them away. The guards come in and start pushing you guys towards the exit. Do any of you resist?
I do not. What happens to the sword, though?
Do any of you try to pick it up, or do any of you guys leave it there?
Well, this is a very awkward situation to try to pick it up, wouldn't it?
I'm gonna have Val be the make a sleight of hand check to see if he can pick it up. Alrighty, and then a perception check from the guards. Okay. Val, as he's walking forward, all of a sudden the alchemy jug kind of slips out of his. Sorry. Was fuller for less now. And he reaches down and he, with both hands in a wide motion, scoops up the alchemy jug. Eltor, because you were kind of close to him and you're at the same height, you see a glimmer of something metallic in the jug as well. Val rolled 1 higher than the guard's perception.
Hey!
However, you were all led out of the throne room, or the underhall as it's been called, and led up 4 flights of stairs into this this hallway, this like kind of low grayish hallway that with like slight arrow slit windows cut into it immediately just to let enough light in. And as these guards lead you out of the Silver Peak Castle, they lead you by the true hall, the grand hall of the castle. I assumed so, but don't worry. That wasn't just hanging out there awkwardly. And you get the sense that from the various staircases, in fact, that how easy it was to get to the underhall from the sewers, that this was much more designed to be kind of a more private area of experimentation and exhibition for Xandal, through various uses of the flame itself. Hence why you didn't just come from the sewers straight up into the grand hallway of a castle.
Mm-hmm.
But they push you along rather roughly, still out into the courtyard of the castle itself. It's wide. You see a couple probably buildings are barracks off to one side, but they're not leading you that way. They're leading you more towards I think it would be the west. Nope, come back here.
Ooh.
So here in the center would be the Silver Peak Castle, and then they're leading you. The courtyard would be where that open area to the side. They're leading you here to the west to this pentagonal. It looks pentagonal. It's more of a diamond shape. Inside the walls, you find this heavy stone building of dark gray, heavy stone, thick iron bars on all the openings on the outside. You see several wooden stockades on the outside where people in various states of filth are attached. And as you push past them through the gate itself, this open like hallway-ish area, covered on the top but open on the sides. It's as you were entering this place, you see several younger squires of the Copperstone Stockade, accompanied by one older overseer, this human, kind of salt and peppery beard, split hair down on the sides right to around where his ear, wearing the sigil of the castle on his over what looks to be chainmail beneath. And as he kind of makes a motion to the squires, they all come up and start summarily taking all of your armor and weapons and gear. It seems like there is like one squire comes up to each of you to take off all of your stuff. The guards are still around you, and all look very menacingly and seriously to see if there is any attempt to not have all of your swag taken. Is there anything you guys wish to hide? Anything that you guys wish to not be found?
The torch.
So one of the squires comes up to you and tries to give him your hand, and you resist. And the older man, with the salt and pepper beard, kind of standing there with his hands behind his back, like kind of like an at ease position.
Boy, you were required upon entry into the Copperstone Stockade to relinquish all of your belongings. Should you prove to be innocent of any charges of which why you landed here, they will be returned unmolested. Even your strange torch.
And your name, if this doesn't get returned to me, so I know what to write on the headstone.
Make an intimidation check.
That's cocked. 9. Let me at him! Let me at him!
He leans down to you, kind of like bending at the waist. So his face is like a bare inch away from yours.
Give the lad the torch, or I'll have you strung up by your asshole outside.
I give the lad the torch.
Lad, go dunk that in the barrel over there.
Do any of you say anything or try to stop him from putting out the torch? The DM asks pointedly.
Oh, like literally dunk it in the barrel.
Yeah, there's a barrel and he's walking towards it that he's going to dunk the torch into.
This is gonna be a fun physics.
That might not be wise. You might want to store it. No, not you might want. You definitely want to store it somewhere where its flame can continue, lest the world end.
I hate that I put myself and you all in this position.
This is gonna be a short campaign.
I'm sorry.
The flame contained therein is a vital part of the balance of the world. The balance that we restored by directive of the Raven Queen. It is not to be harmed. Dousing it would be disastrous.
Boy, dunk the flame. And you all watch in horror as the boy walks over to this, like, firkin-sized thing of water. Goes to put it in.
Hang on.
What are you gonna do?
Oh.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna use thaumaturgy to like make the barrel shake and like a rumbling thunder sound as he like goes to approach it.
Okay. So as he dips the torch in and the steam shoots out, all of a sudden the barrel starts to shake violently back and forth, and the water like froths over, and he goes. Ah! Oh yeah, he drops it in.
Oh shit. Okay.
He drops it, and your thaumaturgy, and again, you watch in horror as your thaumaturgy expunged. The water continues to fizzle and bubble and boil and froth and steam. The boy, like, the man at this point, walks over, kicks the barrel over, and the torch rolls out, still lit.
Well, perhaps dousing it was not so unwise. Very well.
What manner of device is this?
Never
An
mind.
instrument of
Our Arcanist will take a look at it. You get the sense that it's an incredibly powerful magical artifact.
Nah. What?
And the torch that you built using the skin of a demon makes it a bit more resilient than a normal torch. However, you are all led and thrown into one of two cells, as there are only two on this floor that you put on. In this building, this giant diamond-sized slate gray stone building is about 3 stories high that you can see. You are taken into the first floor and then down 1 layer, actually. So you're taken into an unseen basement level, and where the hall itself is divided into 2 sides. There's the main hallway where the guards go up and down, and then 2 large cells on both sides. both sides. Eltor, Bethanir, and Eziaz. You are thrown into one cell. Val, Dinar, I think that's everyone else. You are thrown into the other. The guards look at you all, block the door, and walk back up the stairs. Eltor, as you are thrown in, you trip over this thing. That's strange because it stirs when you kick it. John, if you'd like to introduce your character.
So he just kicked me?
No, he tripped over you as the guards like roughly shoving these guys, which are essentially in their underwear, because they had all of their armor and weapons taken from them and kind of thrown in here. So they're in their space.
Well, what you trip over is a very short, dark-skinned gnome, looking very startled, and things that you notice on him are, first of all, he's got some nice bling. He's got a necklace on him.
You have nothing. You are also in your skivvies.
And I am also not wearing my necklace. In fact, I'm just a dark gnome, and just looking generally startled that someone just tripped over me.
Any facial hair, hair?
He's got a big bushy beard, and it's not very clean right now. Looks like he's a little weathered, but you can see some wrinkles that look like he's got some, some smile lines, and he looks old, pretty old.
You said he's a gnome?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure I tripped over him?
You're a halfling, so you're comparable. You're almost comparable to size. He's also pretty stout for a gnome.
Hey.
And one of the stout, as in stocky. And one of the reasons it was so hard to see him was because of his slate black-gray skin. He is a deep gnome.
Careful, Eltor. There's a person there.
What? Now, what's the meaning of this? Who's coming into... Am I being released? Hello?
Oh boy, what are you in here for, pal?
Is someone talking right now? Hello? I could see you over there.
I'm talking to you.
Karnoor, that was not taken. That's subtle enough on your person.
Okay.
Sorry.
Who? You're not a guard. What are you just another prisoner then?
Maybe I'm just another pretty face, but no, we're all prisoners here.
Well, I'm sure you're in here for a much better reason than me.
Almost certainly.
Well, let me tell you. I think... Now, I don't often think this very much, but I think that those gods out there, they don't like me because of my skin color. I just don't understand. There was no reason to judge me. They had no reason to judge me by my character. They had no opportunity to truly understand me. Surely they would have seen that I stand in the light of Pelor. Can you not see that I stand in the light of Pelor?
Right now it looks a lot like you're lying in the darkness of a prison cell.
Does he smell like the light of Pelor?
A perception check.
I can't tell.
What'd you
I
roll?
probably smell like the light of Pelor. 6?
Smells stale hay, mold, and some type of excrement that you don't know how old it is.
Well, I haven't been here very long. You seem like you've been through quite a tussle. Let me tell you, I can definitely heal you there. No, I can heal you, and let me tell you, I haven't had these powers for very long. You see, I lost them, and then, I kind of regained them again. Well, it's a really long story, but I guess I should start from the beginning, right? Well,
It
all
seems
started.
like we have time.
Yes, well, as
As
you
he
can
starts to tell his story, I'm gonna start casting like prestidigitation around the cell because the smell and dirt bothers me.
Okay, so Karnoor, you begin to regale them all the tales of how you left Spear.
I'm not gonna say a lot of detail here.
No, you're more like you're giving them like you're like, and then when I reached the age of 5, I did this, and and then for my 10th birthday, my father took me like that. Like that's what you're getting at. This all the while you watch this haughty, tall, very tall and pale elf with an intricate facial tattoo on one cheek, is just walking around flicking his wrist left and right, slowly.
Kind of making like a sweeping motion with my hand.
Yeah, it's like he's clutching an invisible broom, and over the next 10 minutes or so, your cell becomes remarkably cleaner.
Yes. Should I keep going?
I'm gonna say, as he's doing that, in the other cell, Dinar, you see a lithe figure sitting there in the darkness, crouched down, head down, hands together, just kind of meditating almost. Not being you can't tell. Maylnn, if you want to introduce yourself.
No.
I'm saying like if you would like to describe what you're.
Oh, sorry. Well, I'm a humanoid being with bronze skin and a clean-shaven head, of medium build, and I'm just wearing simple traveler's clothes, just trousers and a shirt right now, and that's as much as I'll say at the moment.
You see as this copper-skinned hulking dragonborn of a person.
Half elf. So...
No. I'm saying like this is.
Oh, I see that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you sit there, rather indifferent to these people that just showed up, as you see this tall, hulking dragonborn with copper scales cheerfully bound its way up to you and just kind of sit down next to you and just go, "Hi, what you in for?"
God. Do we really have to do this?
I mean, no, but like we're in a cell, so we might as well.
I mean, look, I don't plan on staying that long. Can we just skip this whole thing?
I mean, fine, if you don't want to talk. I mean, we're just gonna be sitting in a cell for a while. Jeez. Hey guys, I don't. Do you have one over there? We have a grouchy one over here.
Oh no, there's more of you?
Can we hear him from across?
You can hear him. The cells, they're only about maybe 15 feet.
They've heard my
Not that
exposition.
grouchy, just long-winded.
Oh man. Well, if you must know, I am.
No, man. You hear the dragonborn. No, it's just, you don't want to talk to us. I mean, that's fine, I guess. I mean, I was just coming over to be your friend and all, and be like, hey, we should be buddies, pals, because we're gonna be in the cell for like at least 24 hours before we all get out of here, and tell the world that we killed an evil lord of the city. But I mean, hey, what are you gonna do?
Well, what?
I'll have what you have.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Sorry, I'm a bit manic. I was dead like 15 minutes ago.
Elaborate.
Dead. 15 minutes ago?
And yet you're here?
Yeah, it's weird.
So, I hit my head pretty hard on the way in.
Oh, did you hit your head? Oh, I can help with that. Oh, wait, maybe Rethi! Hey, Rethi! Can you help him? Can you help him like you helped me?
Unfortunately, My powers are expended for the time being.
Well, I was just getting to that. I can do a healing job there. You know, it's funny because, as I was saying, did you hear that part of the story? I can go back. It's all started long ago.
Right, so I'll be very brief in explaining who I am. Man, I guess I used to be a respected wizard of the Arcanus Cerberium. I was a researcher there until I pissed off the son of a nobleman. Fortunately, I hit my head pretty hard on the way in, so all I can really remember are my cantrips until I get my spellbook back. And hence, I'm stuck here.
What did it look like?
Spellbook? It looks like a book.
There's all kinds of books. There's leather bound. There's just, you know.
There's
Yes,
only
yes,
one
it's-
book that matters.
It's a leather-bound book with my name on it.
No, not that one. The Book of Balance.
The Book of Balance.
Karnoor,
I'm
make
not
a religion
familiar
check.
with it.
Or anybody, Maylnn, you can make a religion check too if you are proficient in religion.
I am not.
Then you.
I am religion.
Right.
Do I believe him in that it's a good book?
I don't know. Do you believe him?
I am skeptical.
Karnoor, you get the sense he's probably talking about Kelimvor, God of the Dead and Judge of the Damned, and not a very widely worshipped god on this continent.
Oh my. Are you one of those Kelimvor worshippers?
I have the honor to be a cleric in his service.
Ah, bloody cleric.
He's a very
Well-
bloody cleric right now. Actually, he's
So bloody, oh my goodness.
like, especially if I took off the armor, like he is cut up.
I mean, like, all like the bloodstains and whatnot, I've prestidigitation off, but I still look like crap.
You
I
look
cast prestidigitation on him.
Okay, so your wounds still fresh, none healed. This looks so squeaky clean.
Also to help with the smell.
It's a bit worse on their side, but because you've been a bit more diligent on your end. You know, as part of your daily meditations and rituals, and the fact that you can't stand to be amongst all this stupid squalor. Karnoor, it hasn't cared at all.
Well, come here unless you wish to join your god. And then I'm going to.
Excuse me, and I back up.
Okay.
Hold on, can I ask how long have I been in this prison with Karnoor?
Karnoor was there when you got here,
And
and you got here about 4 days ago.
oh my god, thank God you guys. You don't even know. 4 days.
Listen. I can cure your wounds unless you do really want to join your god.
My god will call me when it is time.
Well,
And
I'm just gonna, like-
clearly not today.
yeah, I'm looking around. I don't see him here now. So unless you want to continue dirtying my cell, let me heal you.
Brother Karnoor, as a note, they all look fucked up. Like, with the exception of Eltor, who has a lot of health for some reason. I'm not sure if that's accurate. They all look winded and not dirty after Rethinir's thing, but they are wounded, bruised. They look awful.
I'm wiggling my finger at Rethinir.
I'm just gonna sit down on the opposite side of the room and stare at him.
Then I'll be like, okay. Turn my gaze. Who else was in the cell?
Eltor and Ezyaz are in the cell with you.
I'm gonna look towards Eltor. Well, Do you have any issues with the Lord of Light, Pelor?
I don't have any issues against them.
Would you mind a healing?
Would I like a healing?
Yes, I can do healing spells.
You can save them.
Well,
I'd just like to point out I don't trust him.
now what have I
I wouldn't let him touch you.
what have I done to? Yeah, oh.
I don't know. Pick a day.
I've been getting on.
There's
the wrong
4
foot.
of them.
All I did was try to explain who I am, so you can judge me on my character.
Can you
And not
believe
based-
he hasn't finished his story yet? I've been here 4 days.
Well, if you do have healing to offer, perhaps, Ezjaz, you could make use of it.
I would very much appreciate that.
Now, see, was that so hard? And I'm going to poke him and
All
do
right, so you,
wounds.
it's a she.
She.
As you look over to see this tall, thick, muscular human woman with shocking red hair down with a braid, a wild look in her eyes, as she stares down at you with this like creepy, wild grin.
I would say that Ezjaz is mildly uncomfortable in this tiny cramped cell right now. Just to
Okay.
point that out.
All right, so yeah, like, how tall is she again?
She is 6'4".
Okay, so the ceiling here is like 8
Damn
feet.
it, you're
in
taller than me.
So like, the ceiling's not like cresting, but like the sense of claustrophobia definitely is kicking in a little bit. You're kind of like uncomfortably hunching your shoulders together. Also, I don't know if Ezjaz cares. You're the only woman in a room full of dudes who are all in their skivvies, as are you.
Oh, she don't give a fuck.
Cool. I figured it's not, but
Her and Eltor are used to it.
I'm slightly uncomfortable.
And I don't care at all. Like, I'm unaware that it's even an awkward situation.
I'm uncomfortable as I poke my finger at this strange lady.
okay. So you poke her in what
Second level cure wounds.
second level cure wounds into Ezjaz.
Alright. Let's do this.
First roll of the night.
May Pelor's light close your wounds and have you stand longer, strange lady. And I'm just kind of smiling at this strange lady.
Ezjaz just looks over, and despite her mild discomfort, she says, yeah, well, I thank you for the healing.
He comes up to about your waist, by the way.
Yeah, I'm like looking up like 90 degrees. Yeah,
Are you
I'm just
still
gonna,
like
like-
on the ground? Or
I'm
have
short.
you? No, I mean, like, have you stood up, or are you still lying on the ground?
No, I'm stand. I'm not like stretching out. No, I stood up. I stood up. And I'm gonna step back because I just realized, you know, looking up, I don't know, this just a little intimidating. Just step back a little. Hey, yep, stand the light of Pelor.
You keep mentioning Pelor. You serve him.
Oh, I do. I am his most devoted servant. And what was that sound? I don't know what that was. Anyway,
You see a guard walk by that just goes, "Shut up in there." I said, shut up. Fucking winter.
Told you, they just don't understand. Anyway. Did I get to the part about my father yet?
I stand up and start peeing in the corner.
You're right, I don't understand why you would choose to serve such a capricious deity as Pelor, but
Capricious.
others have made worse choices.
Why, Pello is the greatest god of all. He has given life where there should be none. He has done miracles upon miracles, and I am his bastion, and I will not hear you talk bad of my Pelloer. I stand very
I'm gonna
fiercely.
use thaumaturgy to make my eyes go completely black and my voice be like, "You take that."
I say to Karnoor, to be fair, this guy over here says he was brought back to life, and Pelor had no hands in that.
Rethenir, make a intimidation check with advantage because Maylnn is being your hype man.
Wow! Wow.
That's 15.
15?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Roll. Just make a straight charisma check.
Oh, come on! That's a 5.
His eyes go black, and his voice resonates in like the
Bilbo Baggins, do not take me for some conjurer of cheap tricks.
like Gandalf like speaking down to Bilbo as it like rackets the room and everything, and he seems to grow even taller as he says this.
Kind of stand up as I'm saying it.
And you feel a little clenching of your sphincter.
What is this? I'm just here to... All I did was offer you... What? I am just standing in his light. I didn't try to do anything to you, and here you are, trying to... What is this? What are you doing here? Gods, what? Somebody, what is going on here? Excuse me. I am not supposed to be here at this moment. I don't understand. Excuse me, is there a god here?
You hear a call from that same guard that says, "I don't know. They say they're on a mission for a god like you. You seem in pretty fucking good company." And then you hear, "It's getting dark out. Go the fuck to sleep." And then a slam as
Insight check. Is it getting dark out?
that'd be a nature. Nature check. What'd you roll?
Natural 1. Eldor has sunglasses on. Can't tell.
You look around, looking to see if you can find a window. To look out or to verify this guard statement, and your mind is already racing with a scathing retort. You can tell this guy when you realize it's not dark o'clock at all, and you trip over Karnoor again.
What is going on over
Karnoor,
here?
just out of nowhere, all of a sudden,
Am I being attacked? Am I under... Wait, I was already arrested.
You will be attacked if you don't shut up.
I will not be intimidated by the likes of you.
I'll punch him in the face.
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
roll to attack. Karnoor, what is your... So it's add your strength.
Okay.
Just your strength, no proficiency.
That'd be a 14.
Karnoor, what's your dexterity?
7.
Oh yeah, that hits. That's a.
I mean,
that's an eight.
not trying to like bash his brains in, just be like, shut up.
Okay, so roll a d4, add your strength modifier. So half the d4, and then half the total damage because you're not going for like.
Right.
Lights
So the
out.
total would have been 5. So I guess 2.
So what'd you roll on the d4?
I rolled a 4, so
So
half,
2
that,
plus
half
your.
of that was 2. Plus 3 would be 5. So
Okay, so yeah, so Karnoor, you suffer 2 points of damage as this tall Haunty just clocks you in the temple.
I will not tolerate this, and I'm gonna cast Hold Person.
Okay.
getting off to a great start here.
Make a wisdom
God.
saving throw.
Do I still have my Ring of Protection, or was that taken from me?
That was taken from you.
All right then. Wisdom save would be a 12.
Nope,
That's
you're
fine.
held.
That fails. So you go to punch him, and you kind of stand back into a waiting position. All of a sudden, you freeze, and he can't move, and he's sitting there fuming.
So fuming. Oh my goodness.
And now I'm going to cast Calm emotions.
Okay. I
So-
believe that's another wisdom saving throw.
It's
Thought it was
charisma.
Charisma saving throw.
Okay. Ooh, that's better. That is a 19.
That succeeds.
I'm still
Okay.
very angry.
Still angry? How long does? Hold on. Let me just look. Sorry, real quick. at
Leave
how
whole
long-
person is
I think I-
concentration. Or
It's a 1-minute duration.
but is it concentration or not?
At the end of each of its turns, so I guess every 6 seconds.
We're gonna not gonna be every 6 seconds exactly, but kind of loosely as things kind of like get
Okay.
quiet. I will say though, because he cast a spell and it didn't do anything, rather than you can make another wisdom saving throw.
That is a 16.
Oh boy.
You have facility over your motion again.
Hmm. Well, you do have some power within you.
How about
Still.
you just stand on the other side there?
Hmm. And I do sit back down against the opposite wall.
And then I'm gonna like inch behind Eziaz.
I cast message and warn Eziaz that Karnoor is coming up behind him.
Why?
So you all watch as Maylnn takes a little wire out and rubs it and takes it to his mouth and just goes, "Yes, the gnome's coming up behind you. You can respond to this if you want." And as you hear both vocally and in your mind, on a slight delay, like picking up an answering machine and like talking to somebody. The answering machine has finished its giving its like little spiel. So you hear it's like a echo 1-2 effect. Maylnn, this dour half elf fella, tell you that the little gnome is sneaking up behind your leg.
We could all hear that, you know.
You heard nothing.
I am not sneaking. I stand in the light of Pelor, and I will always be distinguished wherever I stand. I do not sneak. Perhaps you must. I'm just gonna see him meditating. I'm just gonna be like remembering his black eyes and him punching me. Like, I stand in the light, and I hide behind Ezias.
Okay. Is there anything else? Any other discussions?
Yeah, not to spoil this impressive display of bravado, but did you guys happen to see where they took our equipment on the way in?
Did we?
I'll say for anybody that would have been looking, they can make a perception check to see which direction the squires went.
I probably would have.
Okay. Is anybody else? No one else is? Alright.
I'll do it.
Alright.
What are we doing?
Perception check to see if you notice where the squires took all your belongings. Okay. Eltor, you're kind of unsure. You were still kind of aghast at the fact that it was burning after it fell out of a firkin. Rethanir, it's tough to say. You saw them walk in a more southerly direction, like over this way, and you came in from this side.
Okay.
Like from the most direct, like western side, and you saw them go kind of like a southwesterly direction, but you're unsure exactly where they went after that.
So I will say, I did not see exactly where they took our belongings, but we were told that they would be returned to us if a trial proved our innocence.
And you think there's a good chance you'll be proven innocent?
The gods themselves are on our side.
And are they here right now?
They are always
Pelor is always with me.
Oh god.
there. At least we can agree.
Right, well, I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't think the gods are on my side because I've ended up here with you guys. And I don't plan on staying here because I don't know about you, but there are some people that don't really like me, and I'd rather not let them find me here.
It's not really about the gods being on your side. It's more about, are you on the gods' side?
I was just as sketchy too on this, but that's helped a little bit.
Yeah, and for what purpose? What games are those gods playing?
You speak dangerously close to blasphemy.
Very cynical. He can still be turned to the light, though.
The light is not all that is, and not all that matters.
But it is the most important.
Interesting note, by the way, for both just Karnoor and Maylnn would recognize this. Karnoor, he keeps referring to Kirinthenia as the Lord of Light. You have always understood that as a descriptor of Pelor, which you know to be one of the prime gods. Kirinthenia rose to godhood, to a deific status before the sealing, before a great calamity happened, but after the creation of much of the material.
That's fine. He's not a lawful god. I feel the same way.
I think I like you.
But what I'm saying is that it's interesting that also, and for you, Maylnn, he keeps expouting Pelor to be this Lord of Light and Healing, where you knew him as the general and right-hand man during the Sealing Wars.
Gotcha.
The great confrontation post the creation of the material plane, where the gods and devils fought against demons who had betrayed a grand treaty between the three sources. So the Lord of Light might not be as peaceful as, and again, only you know this, might not be as peaceful as Karnoor.
Gotcha. Knowing that wouldn't have changed anything I said, though.
So, were you guys able to smuggle anything into these cells?
If everyone would just be quiet and let me meditate for a few hours, I can smuggle Sight and McSight back out of the ether.
I don't know who that is.
It is a manifestation of the power of the Lord of Balance.
Alright, well, you do that. So,
And I'm gonna try to go to sleep again.
anyone else that doesn't have any made-up stories?
Made up? Everything I say is very true.
Well, alright. You know what? I'm gonna go meditate.
Does anyone else wish to do anything, accomplish anything?
Eltor's gonna go to sleep.
Right.
Kind of huddle up in the corner under what he can find.
Okay. There are some freshly cleaned rags on some very immaculate hay, as thanks to Maylnn. And you pick the choicest spot, and you snuggle up, and you go right to sleep. Karnoor, this halfling just fell asleep in your bed.
For a second, Karnoor's just smile fades a little bit at all this very sudden change around him, not really understanding. And then he presses on his earring, and the glow stops. And I'll just find a nice corner away from that other cleric and like try to warily sleep. Not that that really works. And just go to sleep eventually.
Have a good night, Eltor / Mikey boy. Thank you so much for hopping in.
Yeah, man.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.
Night, guys.
Have a
Good.
good night.
Bye. You're still the chosen one. Just remember who you are.
Remember.
The heart of the cards.
Do you, does anyone else wish to or say anything before sleep takes you?
How well do I know the guard? Like, has it been the same guard patrolling the past 4 days?
No, it's been a shift change.
And can I see the guard through my cell, or is he like around a corner?
No. As you are all in the basement and there are no windows or access to the outside, there is only the singular entrance up. You know you've seen multiple different guards come up and down the set of stairs and hallway up there. You can make a perception check to see if you can hear anything or...
Well, I mean, for me, it's like a visual sight. Like...
No, you can currently not see anything.
Okay. That would be all.
So, the day wears on, sleep takes you all. A well-deserved and exhaustive sleep. And everyone but Karnoor and Maylnn, because you already were, you reached level 8.
Oh, hey, cool. Awesome.
Level ups all around.
So if you have not already done so, you can hit dice, pick any new slots and abilities for that you need to.
Alright.
I'ma take Warcaster.
Hit like and subscribe.
Let me roll my hit dice. Alright. Average.
Remember to add your Constitution modifier to any you roll for your health.
Wait, is this a short rest?
No, so you guys became level 8 to begin with, because that's what the party was going to hit when they took a long rest. So, Karnoor and Maylnn, you do nothing. You're already level.
Oh, they're just rolling their... Oh, no, I was just curious what they're doing.
No, they're rolling their hit dice to see how much their health goes up.
Right.
Which Eltor would do.
Ooh, now I get Divine Strike.
Oh, shit.
Welcome to level 8.
I've had it, baby.
Shut up.
Yeah, technically he was a higher level cleric than you were.
This entire campaign I've been...
He was a better cleric than Reth.
You're not here. Shut up.
Shut
I'm
up!
also going to say right now, if anybody wishes to go refresh their drink, bathroom, now would be a good time to take like a 5-minute.
I'll do that.
For the rest of that night, it'll be Haruki's side of the story.
I was going to say, alright, and then
Talk
And
over
then
you every
Haruki.
second.
the next 2 hours is just going to be fishing.
You just watch you watch me fish, drink tea, and escort children around a town.
It's 2 hours of me describing to you all very, very cheerful looking old man fishing, playing with children, and teaching them how to make tea.
This got dark. Okay, I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Legendary fighter and leader of his people, sitting around making tea.
I mean, he was doing that before.
I'm saying he's perfectly content doing what he's doing now. It's just now there are numbers attached to
he
it.
He fucking loves it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. If nothing, listen, nothing else, Haruki'd be super content sitting in that village for the rest of his days, drinking tea. Well,
minus not having the fam. But still, he'd be content until he'd see them again. But you know, chill.
Well, I mean, if he stayed there, he wouldn't
so
see them
many
again.
performance roles on like tea prep.
You have proficiency in tea performance.
I would have fucking hoped so.
Whenever you specifically, Haruki, and I'm giving this to you officially.
All right, I'm fucking writing it down.
Whenever you are preparing or pouring tea specifically, no other beverage, You can add your proficiency to your performance check.
Where can I
I
add
think
this?
we'll be fast friends.
Combat, actions, equipment, description, notes.
Under notes,
Let's see.
you have
Other.
you have the feat.
Tea master.
I was gonna say
Tea bag.
yeah, team. No. Tea master is fine. Tea master is fine.
Love it.
Master of the hot leaf juice.
No, I like tea master better.
But uncle, that's just hot leaf juice. To think that my own nephew would just call tea hot leaf juice. This is a sorrowful day indeed.
Add proficiency while making tea. Is it proficiency or advantage?
It's proficient. No, it's proficiency to performance checks relating to tea pouring.
Okay, add. Oh my god! Wait, let's see. What's my performance? That's not that. It would be a plus. It would be a +7. So he can make, on a really good day, he can make some really good tea.
Oh yeah.
But on a
You
shit
roll
day,
well.
it's kind of bad tea.
When the party shows up, you roll high. You're gonna have some like this is tea that's gonna show them other worlds.
Literally.
Like I said, I think we'll be
Literally.
fast friends.
Literally other worlds.
Can you make ayahuasca?
Ah.
That's
Tea
all.
is like-
It's like various versions of green and oolong tea.
Tea is one of the 2 things I drink.
The other is alcohol, alcohol.
Nope, that's Saria.
Moonshine, 100%, 120 proof. Rethinir is just you haven't seen him sober. He's just been actually drunk this
So-
entire.
He's been drunk
thing.
this whole time.
Tea master. Add proficiency to performance tea rolls.
Yes.
Save.
Yes.
Done.
I can't wait for you to figure out a way to beat the big bad at the end of this arc.
With tea.
You're using tea. When your proficiency bonus is like +13 or whatever it is. And you're like, please drink this calming ointment, and it's like god poison because I somehow let you all get god poison.
I mean, who
It
doesn't
turns
get
out
on, like-
oolong tea was god poison the entire time.
So for Dax the Umber Lord of the Shadowfell and Herald of the Darkness, Bear of the World, oh my god, really doesn't like tea.
Wait,
Or-
did I not get
or-
the
Or,
one-
hold on, curveball. He likes it so fucking much, he becomes good.
Yes. I was wrong this whole time. It is not Umbra that I should go after, but Oolong. The only blackness I will bring will be black breakfast tea. And thus the 120-foot, and thus the 200-foot wingspan dragon disappears back into the ether and never heard from again.
I guess I also need to refresh my spells prepared list, so
Yes.
because I'm a cleric.
You are a cleric,
I'm a cleric.
Yes,
Yes.
I know.
as we have all heard and seen.
We went from a game full of warlocks to a game full of clerics.
I'd find something hilariously appropriate out of that. I don't know why.
It's just such a. I feel like it's also just such a reflection on our respective characters as people and DMs.
I'm a very nice person.
Alright, so I'm gonna unprepare that, keep that, and keep talking to myself as I decide what to take. Time to take all my social spells.
back, by the way?
No.
You.
John's here. Blim's here. Might's here?
Yep.
Ralphie here.
Yeah.
Randy here. No Randy. Excuse me.
Always disappointment.
That's not nice.
Well, I can say this. Hold on, sorry.
What? Ooh.
Sorry, I just had to text Daddy something. I'll say this. Hi, Sam. Then I'll say this after that. Rethenir,
Mm-hmm.
as sleep takes you, your mind is wash of emotions. You've been
I'm uncomfortable with those.
You're exceedingly uncomfortable. You are dealing with the elation of leading a task that you know Lord of Light, your Lord of Light, not this pretentious expositor Karnoor preaches. You have completed this task. You are filled with trepidation that now, not once but twice, you've seen one of your allies apparently subvert the natural cycle of life to death.
Alright, I am back.
Cool. Rethenir is having a fever dream.
Hooray!
You are filled with uncertainty as you don't know the direction to go through afterwards. Will you continue with this party? Will you continue with Eltor? He continues to be the Lord of Light in your eye, but he always. As you're having, actually, we should change the music because this is not fever dream music. Hold on.
Yeah.
This is really not.
This is a little bit better.
Oh. Okay.
And as these emotions watch,
Moderating my presentation.
and as these emotions are furiously billing their way through you, all of a sudden, blackness. Nothing. You look around and you see yourself standing on an impossibly large scale, balanced by one giant skeletal handhold. And you see on the other side all of your companions: Eltor, Ezias, Yafnor, the new additions of Karnoor and Maylnn, Dinar, Val, all standing on the opposite side of you, on the other side of the scale. And you see yourself standing on the other side, balancing it. Neither one end tipping upwards nor down. You hear a voice cut through the darkness.
My acolyte. You have been busy late. You and your friends have brought balance where there was chaos, restored order where there was discord. And I am told you have done so in my name. To walk the right path, one that I have put before you. And I am glad to see you still on. You now face a choice of your own to make.
Do you stand where you are? The balance, the crux between order and discord. Or do you find a new balance with faces? Know that where you walk, and through your actions, my sight is on you. With that, the vision fades, and you wake up. Cold, cold sweat pouring from every single on your body. You
I
look
assume
out.
everyone else is still asleep, but
I'm actually not asleep.
That's right, because you also. I will say, how soon after did you go to sleep at around the same time everybody else? Or stay up for time.
I stayed up. I started using prestidigitation to try making keys to unlock the cell door.
Okay. Make a. What is your spell casting modifier? Is it intelligence with?
It's yeah, it's +8.
Wizard would be
No. What's
intelligence, I
like?
think.
Do you add your intelligence, your wisdom, or as your spell casting modifier?
Charisma.
Charisma. All right. Make a straight charisma check.
Okay.
And this is before everyone went to sleep.
After. Like right after.
Okay.
So that's just charisma modifier.
Yeah, that's your charisma modifier plus a d20. And tell me what you roll.
10.
Okay. You spend the next 2 hours after the rest of the party has fallen asleep trying to subtly heat and warp bits of metal that have fallen off or parts of leaves together, or not part of leaves, excuse me, twigs from the hay and everything. Trying to like press them together and heat them to the point where they'll stick, and it's not working.
All right, then I go to sleep.
Okay. So because of that, you would not have been awake when Methanier woke up.
Okay.
You were only about 2 hours into your 4 rest period. So you'd be fast asleep.
All right, cool.
So Methanier, you wake up. Everyone else is still. Cold sweat pouring from every pore of your body.
All right.
And you think you swear for this the barest of a second you see the shimmer and shadow of a hooded figure. Give you a nod before disappearing.
Does that seem like death or Kellamvor?
You don't know.
Okay.
It was. I'll say this. Make a perception check.
13.
Hard to tell. It's dark.
In that case, I'm just going to go, trying to be reasonably quiet, check on Eltor, make sure he's resting well. And then just spend a few moments staring at and trying to size up Karnoor a bit more.
Okay. You do so with ease. Eltor is, considering he came out of the fight in a much better state than the rest of you, or at least he healed himself much quicker than the rest of you. He still has scars and bruises, but he seems, peacefully just laying there. And you look down at this kind of middle-aged, oldish figure, dark slate gray skin, shock of white beard and balding on top. As he lays there, unconsciously his hand seems to be clutching toward like a necklace or a singlet or something around his neck that's just not there. And make a perception check. Or no, I'd say perception is the best for this one.
Okay. Ooh, that is a 26.
6. You notice through either persuasion or deft means you can't really imagine, there is an extremely small earring that Karnoor is able to keep on his person that he is currently wearing. And as you take a closer look, it's an opal, a very, very small opal, set in dull gold. And on the inside of the opal is a tiny sigil, the Dawnfather.
I note this and probably stare at him awkwardly until he wakes up.
I was hoping you were to say that because that's how I was going to describe it. Is that the dawn comes, you all awake, fully rested, full hit points, and again level 8 for all of you that hadn't gotten there yet. Karnoor, you wake up to see the haughty elf that punched you in the face the night before. His face is inches from yours.
Good morning.
Rethenir, your back is kind of achy from leaning over him for the past 2 or 3 hours.
And now that he's awake, I'll stand back up and then go to the other side of the room and sit down again.
By the way, Maylnn watched all of that happen because he's been past 4 hours. Or 3 hours at this point. So Maylnn, you just watched as Rethenir very closely inspects Karnoor's body and then just kind of sits over him.
Huh. Well, that was weird.
You're still kind of frustrated from your attempts last night.
Do any of you know how to pick a lock?
Val just kind of raises his hand and goes, "Yeah, but I with these big clumsy fuck hands, I need tools."
So I have a wire that I use for my spellcasting components.
Do you have another wire?
I don't know. I mean,
generally I need 2. At the very least.
Can you just break the wire? How long is this wire? Can I break it in half?
What does it say for the description for the message cantrip? We're gonna look it up.
It just says
on D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond.
It just says a short piece of copper wire.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say it's no longer than 6 inches. Or if you'd easily be able to take it in and out of your pocket, it's no longer than that.
Is 6 inches enough for you?
Well, some days, yes. If you want, I can see if it'll work for me today.
Alright, I hand him a copper wire.
Okay. So he's going to take it and he's going to bend it in half. And he is going to make a lockpicking attempt at disadvantage and without his Thieves' Tool bonus because he is not using his Thieves' Tools. He is using a bent piece of copper wire. So all he is adding is his dexterity, which for him is actually... Rethenir, you watch as this somewhat, not inebriated, but kind of glassy-eyed half-orc, lithe but muscular, attempts to go and pick the lock from his side. And you wait for minutes of him hey, think I got it. And he takes his hand to tap it in, and you hear kink. I don't think I got it.
Well, it was worth a shot.
Was it? We wait trial by the laws of this land.
He goes to try to pull
Why
the
do we
copper
need to
wire
break
out.
out?
It doesn't come out.
Friend, let me tell you, in my experience, the law is not on your side.
By the way, the copper wire is now stuck in.
Oof.
It's broken.
And what
stuck in.
exactly is that experience with the law? How did you
Well,
land here? Apart from hitting your head so terribly hard.
At the academy, I was a researcher, and I dealt with all matters of people looking for my guidance in terms of law when it came to the arcane. So I know a fair bit of how unfair it can be.
It is not about fairness. That is but a mortal perception of selfishness and entitlement.
Pretty dramatic, this one, isn't he, guys?
All right, waking up, you lovely lot. It's time to day. As you all watch as this humanoid comes down, vaguely elven features, but there seems to be a mix of human and elf physique, comes down dressed in city guard, wielding a string of keys. He comes plotted. He's kind of heavy set, like shorter and stockier, a little bit of a belly to him. As he comes walking down the stairs, trudging the stairs rather, with his ring of keys. Seems we're going to see if people go to the executioner block or outside goods. I don't really give a shit. Let's see who's going to way up there. And Maylnn, you've seen this guy before. He's come by a couple times in the last 4 days. He's very lackadaisical, very sarcastic and annoying. He takes the piss out of pretty much everything, and it pisses you off a little bit. Karnoor, the same thing, but I don't know if it pisses you off.
Nah, I'm okay with that.
But as he comes walking down, 5 other guards with him, all with manacles with them. Multiple sets of manacles.
There's 5 guards?
6 in total, with multiple manacles and all. So there's like the plodding, thick-headed guy who's walking, and then 6 other guards of various ages and physiques, capable looking. Like, you know, you're in the ruling district of the city. These are not like I was a farmer and then they gave me a shield and a sword and told me to be a guard type guards. These are like this isn't your county like traffic or like highway patrolman. This is like your state trooper. No, fuck off, Karnoor. Disadvantage on your next roll.
Oh.
I'm joking.
Can I cast negative guidance on? Oh, can I cast gain on him?
But he goes over to the cell with Karnoor, Rethanir, Ezyaz, and Ultor, and unlocks that cell first. And as he unlocks it, some of the guards go in and immediately clamp these thick iron manacles in all of your hands,
Including me.
Your judgment day too, little man.
Judgment? Well, I have nothing to do with these capricious people. I do not know anything of what they've done. I don't even know their names. I demand a fair trial. Excuse me, sir. I want to be judged.
You're not being tried with them, you get.
Oh. Stay in the light of Pelor.
The goes over to the other door and goes to stick the key in. Oh.
I try to snatch the copper wire out of it as stealthily as possible.
It's 6 guards standing in front of the door as he's trying to shove the key in. I'll say this. Roll an initiative check. So roll and add your dexterity mod.
Ooh. Okay.
To see. Not for now, but I'm saying to see if you would have had the wherewithal to react beforehand when it broke.
Right. Okay.
Sam, it's okay. It's just fireworks. It's okay.
That's a 19, a natural 19.
Okay, so I'm going to say now make another dexterity check to see if you can pull. Or no, I will say this: how subtle do you like? This is before the guards came down. How subtle do you want to be to take the?
Doing another shop visit in New
Very subtle. Yeah.
Very subtle. And again, this is before the guards, so this is like another. Okay, so if that's the case, I would say, make a general dexterity check.
Okay. That's a 5.
This loud, ringing sound of copper on iron, like this, as you wrench the copper out. You have it. It is. You cannot use it for the spell.
Okay.
It is too bent and scratched and broken to be used as a spellcasting focus for message, right? As it is right now. And as you hear this, that same guard comes down and say, "What the fuck, you guys? Get the fuck back from the doors! What now? Get your fucking hands up against the stone! What now?"
Okay. Is he talking to me?
He's talking to all of you.
Ooh.
Because again, the initiative check was to see if you did.
Have I already been manacled at this point? Or?
No, because that's what the initiative check was for.
Oh, okay.
To see if he had the wherewithal to take it out before the guard came down. And he rolled high enough that he did. So he was able to take the copper out before the guard came down, but because he rolled so low on his dexterity check, it caused a big loud sound. So now, as opposed to the guard coming down and opening up the doors and being snarky and having the guards come in like nice and slow and putting the manacles on, you were all being shoved up against all of you, by the way, are being shoved up against walls. Your hands forced like chicken winged up behind your back. You're now manacled super tight behind your back, as opposed to kind of like nice and like regular in front of you, kind of like this. You were all now like this.
Cavity searches all around.
Behind
Is
you.
this the guard?
Are you showing things to the screen because you're not broadcasting video?
I damn it!
Wait, no, you totally are.
Wait, are you?
Yeah,
I
am.
mean, I see me.
No. Well, I don't.
Is this the guard that was like that I've seen the past 4 days?
Oh, because
It's
I have
not-
received nothing. Gotcha. Okay.
He's down there, but he's not the one personally accosting you.
Okay.
But so Rethan, you're like, you guys are all like now like this.
Okay.
As opposed to before when you guys were just kind of like in front of you and everything like that. So you guys have now been like heavily manacled behind your backs, and are severely uncomfortable for you. And you all kind of pushed and shoved up the stairs. Kunor, you trip at one point or two because your little legs just, and all these big bodies. You bump into Eltor, who bumps into Ezias, who kind of just looks back and is just like, the fuck?
I have nothing to do with these people.
The guards aren't listening to you at this point. And you were all pushed out back towards the Silver Peak, towards the castle. We're going to change music as soon as we get in the castle. So you guys are pushed back into the castle and are led into, and again, much more roughly treated and much more aggressively dealt with than you were initially hoping and assuming for. Still, all in essentially your underwear. As you are taken into the Grand Hall of the Silver Peak Castle. And your characters didn't come over because this is awesome.
Yay, roll 20.
Nofjor and Maylnn, I don't have characters for you just yet.
It's because I'm Karnoor.
Awkward.
The theater of the mind is being broken.
Boink.
Okay.
We fall through reality.
Alright. So Eltor, Val, and Dinar are in the back row. Everyone is back to full hit points, by the way. You're level 8 hit points, actually.
Ding, 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 ding. But my armor class is definitely not 20 right now.
Hey,
No, it definitely isn't.
you guys get to hang from full.
You see Haruki as the council member.
The executioner.
And he's just like, why? This isn't a role I agreed to at all. Oh my god, these guys look weird. Whack!
Is that a lizard?
Why is the lizard on 2 legs? Whack! Wow, Dinar has a fuckload of health. Jesus Christ.
Right?
Hangs and hangs. Hey guys.
3 days later. Holy shit. That Dragonborn was talking for 2 days.
So anyway, that's when my first cousin met with my second cousin and took me out to the forest for the 3rd time. Karnoor and Karnoor would get along famously when it comes to stories, by the way.
Cannot wait.
So, let's see. Pops up. Really? I hate you. This is so dumb. Okay, cool. You know what? This is now Karnoor.
Hey!
Way to whitewash him.
Oh, I should blackwash him, technically.
What?
Mhm.
What does that mean?
Control. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Da, 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 da,
Boom.
da, da,
Karnoor.
da.
And you can add in your own shit as you see fit. And
Passive perception is blue.
no, blue is your movement.
Okay.
For me, I'd do it differently.
Sad.
Yeah, I know. And Maylnn, there you are.
Cool.
I'm getting there, Jesus. I'm sorry, I'm
Haruki,
controlling.
you're not even fucking there. Jesus Christ. I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
Kirinthenia above.
Hey man, I'm
I-
the fucking guy behind the mask. I'm the guy behind the screens right now, the Wizard of Oz, okay?
I am just trying to control the world here actively, alright?
Okay, well, I'm just pushing all the levers and pulleys in my mind.
in my mind.
Okay.
I'm maintaining steady breath.
This is probably a decent one for now. A little bit more creepy than I want, but nah, I'll live with it. Maybe it'll add tension to the whole court battle thing.
Ooh. That is creepy.
No, you.
Okay. By the way, Randy, I
Yep.
use red as the health bar, green as your AC, your class, and blue as your head speed. So that the 50 would go on the red bar.
Okay.
And then the green bar you would put as your AC, which would, I would say for now is whatever your normal armor would be from what you had before. We're not going to worry about that.
Okay.
Right. So you were all led into the grand hall of the Silverpeak Castle, where you all thought you were battling before. You see the space to be much larger. These tall gray pillars of stone sticking up every 10 or feet or so. Chairs set up on the side, and 2 long tables that have seemed to be moved in. As you look around, you see multiple guards stationed by these tables and pillars. And the guards that took you there kind of like hand you off. One of the captains kind of nods, and as you brought forward, you look around and you see most of these guards are human half-elf, with the occasional. Actually, no. Here specifically, no. They're all either vaguely elven or fully human. As you are all brought forward, you see before you the council governed. You see 5 individuals standing in front of you. On the left, so stage right, you see an older halfling male, very bald on top, scruffy gray-black beard, sitting there in robes of simple red and white. Next to him, here, you see a human with kind of golden blonde hair pulled up into this, not like a honeycomb, but it's like this very intricate, nice, complicated pattern up above. Somewhat regal, wearing a long flowing red dress with sleeves coming up almost to this cuff that is like upturned around her neck. In the middle, you see the same individual who accosted you all beneath the underchamber, the underhall, and threw you all into prison the night before. Who was going to sentence you all to death before entreating the word and will of the gods. In which case he listened to your argument. And he himself as well, you notice, has very vague elven features, slightly pointed ears, and what. To his right, or his left, technically, right over here, is you see a dwarven woman, stout, stocky, roundish face, big almond-shaped almond brown eyes. Her hair is braided thickly and immaculately, almost like dreadlocks, but they're not dreads; they're braids. Very, very well made, from the crown of her scalp all the way down her head, and she sits there in a heavy leather jerkin, just kind of tapping her big, thick, heavy fingers impatiently. And finally, at the very end of the table, in exquisite robes of platinum and silver thread, you see an elf, a full-blooded high elf. Short, blonde hair, kind of shocked and cut off to one side. Sharp, angular features, a face that pulls itself almost to this like mousy but accentuated and angular face to the front, as she looks down at you all with this haunty look of contempt. Like, why am I being troubled with these people?
I feel you, girl. I feel you.
Her lip curls even more.
I meet her gaze.
You don't recognize who she is, but from what you know, she is probably from a somewhat area as you.
A somewhat whatever, sorry?
Similar area.
Okay. I just meet her gaze and give the faintest or barest hint of a nod, and that's it.
The vague half elf that accosted you beneath before steps up and says, "All right, end is known. council governed is here to decide the fate of these would-be god speakers, who, of their own volition, have slain our Lord Xandal.
What?
Under premonition that the Raven Queen herself, she who watches over our blessed dead, has given them permission to go about assassinating rulers. Now, what evidence or case do you have to present to yourself that what you have done was in the just action of gods? Normally, you would bring evidence as to whether your crimes were true or not, but considering you were found at the whole of the crime amidst the smoldering corpse of your slain entity, I don't see any reason to follow that instance. So,
Perhaps you should bring a cleric of the Raven Queen to this place and have her cast Zone of Truth upon us, that you will know, and you will know that we answer truthfully.
he gives a look over to I can make a persuasion check, actually. You keep being the one to talk.
Well, probably shouldn't be, but that's a 22.
2.
Just keep my chin high.
He looks over to
stare him down.
he looks over to the female elf in the platinum and silver robes. She kind of I can't get a cleric, you know. He says, "Can they cast the spell they speak of? Will it do what they say?" Of course it will, idiot. Fine. I guess I will play messenger. And she just, like, she makes it seem like it's this great haunty effort. As she just kind of sits back in her chair, looks up and thinks for a moment. Done. It's sent. They'll be here in 20 minutes.
Excuse me, lords and ladies.
Yes, who are you?
Yes, I don't know why I'm here today. I have been a faithful, very faithful cleric of the Lord of Light, Pelor, and I have no idea what you are talking about, and I just...
You are in the same cell as these miscreants. Therefore, assumedly, you are here for the same crime.
I don't even know what crime this is.
Those cells beneath the copperstone stockade were empty. We threw these would-be assassins in there, which means you were one of them.
No. My lord, if I may speak.
You may not.
Very well.
Well,
you may not either.
I sort of mumble under my breath. I mean, I've been here for 4 days.
Make an insight check.
Okay. Oh, that's -4. Sorry, that's a 4.
You get the sense that he doesn't really particularly care who was thrown in the cell at the time. He knew that it was, as far as he knew, it was empty when people went in. So, looks like for now you have been thrown into whatever fray these individuals have brought themselves upon. You see this also by while he is going on and saying, you may not speak, you may not. The dwarven female just kind of rolls her eyes and goes, "Are you meaning to say we're going to sit here for 20 minutes in silence, waiting for this diviner to show up and cast a bloody spell?"
I sit down on the floor.
Is that really what we're doing here, Heflin? Kistrid, I, as always, appreciate your input as a valued member of this council. Yes, that is exactly what we're going to do. But, in the meantime, if it would placate you, we do have some character witnesses we were able to glean last night. And you watch as 3 individuals are let in from the side. You see a young human male, just adorned in scale mail with a bow slung over their side, dark hair and goatee. You see a tiefling, reddish horns dripping down from the side, curling over much like a ram's. You recognize him. That this is Azazel.
Is the first guy Bard?
The first guy, no, the first guy is Irvine, the scout who was keeping an eye on you all. The very, very first tavern that you all went in.
Jesus, I don't even remember that.
He was the guy that I think maybe
We all failed to recognize.
Yeah, you all failed to recognize him.
Oh, I remember now.
He was sitting there watching you guys from the very start. And next to them is a dour-looking half-orc with a big leather smock on.
Yes.
Looking very uncomfortable. It's Andre.
Mm-hmm. Do I recognize any of these fucking
You have
people?
never seen any of these people in your life. Karnoor. Maylnn and Karnoor, you have no idea who these people are. The rest of you recognize them as... actually, you don't know what Irvine's name is because you never interact with him. You recognize this young individual dressed in what seems to be armor and colors reminiscent of Keth's city guard, Keth Shershot.
Right.
And the other 2 you recognize to be Azazel and Andre.
I give both of them a nod as well.
Andre looks very nervous, and I'm sorry, Andre looks uncomfortable. Azazel looks very nervous. Irvine just seems ready to give her a... Very well. While we're waiting, if we can hear from character witnesses that we have gleaned. Irvine, make your report, please. And you watch as this dark-haired human steps forward. That now, at this point, you recognize as being an individual that you saw back in the Pond's Goat Tavern back in Hart. In what seems like years ago. And he steps forward and says, "My lord, my lords, my ladies, I encountered this group when they entered the Pond's Goat Tavern 2 weeks ago. They seemed set to take up the 10,000 gold contract, Lord Xandal. They went into the forest. They slew many difficult zines of creatures. They ventured into a cave near the middle of the forest. And they did not come out. Not for 2 days. When they came out, they were different, gaunt, hollow almost. It was at that point that I lost track of them. I don't know what they did or what they became of after they left the forest, but they definitely went into the forest and they came back out. That's all my reports, sir. Heflin, as you have heard him called, the half-elf steward, waves him away. All right, and you. With the horns, what have you to say on this troop's behalf? Are they really here because of the gods? You see him come forward and be kind of like being shoved by the guards rather brusquely. and he's like still kind of clutching, his wrist inside where it's like have the hints of bruises from where you guys chased off those looters. Well, I don't know anything about this god business. They came into my shop several times to inquire about potions, magical bits of enchantment, as well as to imbibe several of their weapons with enchantments to make them stronger, faster, better. General improvements upon a mundane design. They bartered with coin, they bartered with favors, all around rather pleasant. They actually saved me times from a band of miscreants who did not take kindly to a tiefling running a shop in the market district, and he gives kind of a half bow towards the lady in red. Token is blue, but she's in a red dress. Right here. I don't know what they came here to do. I don't know what they did while they were here. I know they had enough coin most of the time to pay for what they needed. And the lady in red stands forward and says, like, kind of puts her chin down, pursed hands. You sure, Azazel? You're telling us everything you should be? Understand that truthful cooperation with counsel can go a long way in the solidifying of your shop's reputation with myself and the rest of the council. Yes, Rethanir, he did.
Okay. At that exchange, then, I'll say, if it pleases the council, I too can cast Zone of Truth upon these character witnesses, that you might know that their testimony is truthful. Totally missing the subtext.
Hazel gives you a half look like, what the fuck are you doing? And just looks back and says, I have no objection. Heflin looks at the other council members. The platinum-dressed elf says, well, at the very least, I can be able to tell if he's doing the wrong spell. He gives you a very pointed look. And Heflin kind of just waves his hand exasperately. Fine, fine. Cast your spell, God sent.
Okay, I do. I cast Zone of Truth and target Azazel and Andre.
Okay. Azazel is going to attempt to resist it. Because he is trying to lie on your guys' behalf.
Brendan knows that.
What's your spell save, DC?
15.
15.
And it is a charisma save.
Okay. He rolled a natural 18.
Woo!
Okay.
Plus 4. So.
Now, I know that he failed. I don't know if everyone else know that he failed, or that he succeeded.
Interesting point. Only you know.
Okay.
And I'm going to make an Arcana check for the Platinum Lady to see if she realizes that. Because the rest of them are not as focused in magic as she is.
Is there a visual?
It's like, what, like a 15 or 20 foot radius?
It is a 15-foot radius.
And you choose the targets.
Actually, it's anyone in that radius. So I try to position it such that it only hits them. But
you would have to move to do that.
All right. Well, I try to do that if the council allows me.
Do you ask the council, or do you just start moving?
No, that was. I guess that would have been part of the if it pleases the council to let me do this kind of thing. So.
Okay, then that's fine. Yeah, I'll say that you have positioned yourself so that you're standing just next to Azazel and Andre.
Okay.
And you cast the spell. All Andre doesn't know what the fuck is going on, and he has no bonuses. He rolled a 16.
Oh, that,
Wow.
that succeeds.
Just six. He rolled a 16 plus nothing.
Get fucked.
All right, I have to roll. I never rolled. I gotta see if she realizes that you are the only person that can tell if they're lying or not. So she's gonna make an insight check. Let me pull up her character sheet. Why is none of this stuff to be? Sorry, guys. Just bear with me for a second.
No.
Also, all you guys, Revenure is just like firmly convinced that what we did was the right thing and that everything will be okay. So,
What did you
Anyone
even do?
Somebody probably should have stepped in a little earlier.
if anyone
you
else
have-
wants to step in and
you
stop
have
Revenure from doing this, you know.
You have the most zealotous person, single-minded person right now, trying to convince the council to not kill you all.
It's too bad only
So, you know.
only Ezias can really talk right now.
I can only do so much, guys. I don't-
Hey, I tried.
Damn it, Mike, why'd you have to go to bed?
Well, I'm waiting for something, and then I was gonna say something. Just you wait.
Just you wait.
And then cast teleport
Alexander Hamilton.
and be gone. Into the light of Palor you go.
Okay, so she doesn't have that much of a bonus to her insight, so...
Tiptoeing away.
Okay. As far as you can tell, she seems to trust with the interaction of the spell.
Okay.
Azazel turns back and says, like I said, they bought a few things from my shop, they visited me a few times. They had some of their weapons enchanted. I don't know what they did with those weapons. I don't want to know what they did with those weapons. And that was about it. The lady in red turns over to the platinum dressed dwarf, elf, who she just kind of, and she like leans forward again. Thank you, Azazel.
Well, excuse me, counsel. Can I examine the witness, please?
Why?
Well, while he, Karnoor's like kind of panics, looking, doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Well, while he's under the zone of truthing, I thought that, well, he can of course attest to the fact that he has no idea who I am and that I am just a man of Pelor. Excuse me, sir, am I not just a man of Pelor? Who are you? Who am I? What am I doing here?
The red-skinned tiefling turns back towards the woman and says, I have never seen this individual in my life before. I don't know why he's talking to me this way.
Case shut. Sirs and madams.
That's what you were waiting for.
The half-elf in the middle just says, raises his eyebrow and says, please step back in line. Yes, I congratulate you. You have proven that that particular tiefling does not know a particular gnome.
I have no involvement with these people.
That remains to be seen.
But I just...
Please present the third witness. Andre is brought forward. Again, this kind of like dour-looking, hulking half-elf in a big half-orc in a big like leather apron is brought forward. Yeah, I know him. They bought some fancy breastplate from me, and they don't think they bought any other armor. They were real keen on getting a set of plate mail, though, from me that I didn't really have, so I told them where it was. It was in the forest. A dumbass apprentice took it. I don't know what happened in the forest, but they came back. Not everyone that went. There was some old wizard-looking dude, some like old man guy. I don't know what happened to him.
What did?
What did indeed? But they came back and they brought me back my armor, and it was busted to shit. And I told them I'd fix it up for them if they, as kind of payment for bringing it back. Then I didn't see him again. Till a bunch of your asshole guards showed up and busted the fuck out of my face and my daughter. And the entire room just goes silent.
Ooh, boy.
He just kind of looks up at them with like a "fuck you gonna do" kind of look. And there's this like pregnant pause as before the half elf says, "Sir, are you accusing the city guard of assault on your
He
persons?"
speaks the truth.
Persuasion check. Because you know he failed. Or he succeeded, but they don't know.
I mean, he's also still telling the truth, so.
Yes, he is, which is, again, why you're allowed to do this.
I mean, I wouldn't have said that if he weren't, so.
Persuasion check?
Wait, what? Sorry?
I asked you to make a persuasion check.
Oh, sorry. 20, non-natural.
Heflin turns to the dark-haired human again and says, Irvine, I'd like you to look into this. Corroborate his story for the future if things do indeed go more pleasantly today than not. And he kind of gives a nod and walks out of the room. Please continue with your enlightening stories. Well, like I said, they busted the fuck out of my shop and me and my daughter. And then these guys showed up. Busted them up, but good. And then they ran out of here with one of the other fellas. I don't know. I never really got a good look at him. Kind of pale. Like, toned down armor and shit that was busted up. Smelled fucking awful, let me tell you. Some kind of rotten corpse type thing. It's fun. Never took a fucking shower in his life. And I never saw him again either. But I don't know what these people have did. I don't know what they did to you. I don't know what they've done in the past or what they're doing now. They helped me and they helped my daughter. They brought my daughter back to me when she was gone. So they're all right in my book. Yes, thank you. I'll take that into advisement.
Excuse me, may I cross-contaminate the witness?
No.
Sirs and madams.
The guy
Elena,
that...
he turns to the platinum adorned elf. Elena, can you quiet him, please?
You cannot silence the light of Paylor. He will always be heard, even in darkness. Nothing can stop his holy light from shining. Shine on.
Okay, so because this is with her spell set, this is the only spell that she has that would do something like this.
Oh no!
I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
It's gonna be fucking a hold person. Oh, bitches! I made it. That's a 17.
17. Spell save was 16.
And I'll say,
As she attempts to banish you.
Oh my god.
Because
do I
that's
feel
the
something?
Because that's the only spell she has that could have shut you up.
Couldn't have just taken silence.
She doesn't have silence.
Holy fuck.
Do I feel anything?
Yeah, you feel your form get kind of ethereal for a second,
Excuse me, but
and then you solidify yourself as Elena turns towards Heflin and just goes,
I am a citizen of this empire, and I demand that I have. Where are my character witnesses? I have my family.
Heflin looks at you and goes, listen, gnome. You're not in the Empire. You know what? Do my ears look significantly pointy to you? Am I deep tan? Or do I have a scaleborn sitting at my side telling me what to do? No, you are an Andor, which resides in Kurzfaust. And if your backwards notion underdark dwelling ass can't understand that, you can go back to your cell until you rot into the nothingness that you are to me.
I knew it. Y'all are racist.
To which point, the halfling this looks to me and goes, "Oh, yeah, that's a bit harsh there, you long-winded daft cunt bag." And again, the room just goes silent. Except for the dwarf female who is trying and failing to stifle raucous laughter. As she's just, no, please, Otto, behave yourself. Heflin turns to the halfling and says, "I'm so happy you spoke up, Otto. Please, please, enter the conversation." Which you hear the halfling kind of stand up, which doesn't really change his position where you visually from where you all see him from where his sitting position, because the chair is kind of high. Says, "Well, from our perspective, we just heard 3 reports. They were arming themselves for something dangerous. They took tasks upon themselves to help the people of our city, and they succeeded. Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like a bunch of murderous fiends and devils sneaking into our homes at night trying to kill babies, eh? I really don't. Listen, I was never a fan of the daft lord cunt anyway. The fucker was creepy. That is quite enough, Otto. Thank you for your enlightened and intelligent response as always. Get the sense there's a very marked line between the platinum elf and Heflin and the other 3 in terms of how they view things. We are waiting on the diviner that Lady Elena so graciously brought for us, and we will sit here and make sure that everything is abided by the laws of this city, and the door kind of slam open again. And in comes 2 guards with human. Female, completely bald on her head, wearing robes of kind of silvery white on the arms and shoulders and stark black down the front. And on the black by her chest is the sigil, a star with 7 points, each of the points a different color. Maylnn, you recognize this to be the symbol of the Arcana Siberium.
As I would, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As a wizard.
They come up. And Elena, the platinum elf. "Ah, yes. Happy you're here. It seems that we have been convinced to cast. We need your services and your spells. I know. Only here for a short time on loan from the Siberian, but it's appreciated. Please just cast a little.
This is no cleric of the Raven Queen.
And as I mentioned, we have none here. But she has the spell you requested. So, let her do her skill, or to be on her way."
Very well.
Fine. And the woman walks up, and
Is she on screen?
No. Theater of the mind.
Ah, yes.
And she walks up until she's standing directly behind Val. And she kind of grasps her hands together for a second. Are any of you going to willingly fail, knowing the spell that she's casting?
I will willingly fail, for the truth shines within me.
I try to resist.
Okay. Let me find a suitable spell slot, but you know what I'm trying to say. Words. Okay. For anybody that is attempting to resist, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, 4.
Wells.
Hey.
Maylnn, you don't have to tell a lie, but you know if you do, she will know.
Okay.
You don't necessarily have to tell the whole truth. This is not a truth serum. You're not compelled to tell the truth. But
she'll know. Yeah.
She will know. And also, like, you can get around it with, if someone asks you, like, have you seen these people before? Yes. Like, nothing compels you to be specific with your answers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who else is attempting to resist?
Not me.
Okay, well, Ezyaz, are you attempting to resist?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
1 sec.
Okay. Ezyaz, you fail. So you are also you do not have to tell full truths or anything like that. You can be creative with your answers, but any lie that you tell, the diviner will know.
Okie dokie.
And she will probably let the council know. Elter, Val, and Dinar are also all going to roll these 3 d20s here to see what they get. And they all succeed.
Oh, wow.
They all rolled really high.
Hooray!
So, the diviner walks beside you and says, she's human, but she says in Elvish. So I believe, so if you can understand Elvish, you can hear it, you understand what she's saying. If not, you cannot. She says to Alana, the tall one and the short dark, as well as the tan one, they all fall under my spell. The rest resisted. Then you understand, Ezyaz, that she is essentially telling the council who they can ask questions of. And she kind of stands. I'll put a token. I'll give her a token so you guys at least know where she is.
No, my imagination.
How it withers.
So, God. Okay, so that's her right there. After walking behind Val. All right. Azazel is going to be my hilarious Ramzutan picture. Totally not what he looks like anyway. At all.
Then Gendorth will burst through the floor and murder everyone. The end.
Not again, not again, not again.
Where's Larkin?
No, but where's Larkin? This dude's gonna be Andre and Irvine left, so doesn't matter. Okay. So no, Heflin will stand up and says, we'll say to Rethenir, because he knows that you to tell the truth. Did you kill the Lord Xandal?
Who actually, just Brendan to raise a question, who actually struck the killing blow?
Ezya's got the killing blow.
Okay.
Which I guess I should mention that the smoldering burnt corpse of his body didn't have its head on it because Ezya's cut it off, so it was laying somewhere to the side.
Did I kill the Lord Xandal? No.
Were you a part of his assassination, his end, his undoing?
I would not describe it as an assassination, but yes, I contributed to his undoing.
Is she asking him specifically, or
She's asking him specifically.
Damn it!
Because again, he knows that he is compelled to tell the truth.
Yeah, I didn't resist either.
Right, but you at this point you were a rambling madman in their eyes.
I figured. Still gotta ramble though.
They can trust you as far as Heflin can throw you, and let me tell you, he is a weak ass honky. Fine. Why did you kill our lord? The Silver Peak was thriving. Sure, our timber exports were below where they should be, but no matter. Why is he dead?
He was wicked, evil, sought to pervert the balance of life and death in this world, and claim that power for himself. The gods and death itself demanded that he face justice, and that balance be restored.
He turns towards the diviner, who rather reluctantly, kind of like nods her head in the like, he believes he's telling the truth type way. Very well.
I kind of like look around the council and just meet each of their gazes in turn, thoroughly convinced in my own rightness.
Okay.
Karnoor
is like,
I'm watching Rethi. I'm like taking notes. Like they seem to be buying this.
Otto, the halfling, looks at you with just like kind of like mild amusement. In the sense of like, this is far more interesting than whatever dull paper we're gonna have to be dealing with for the day. So this is pretty great. The woman in red is looking at you hungrily.
Ooh.
I probably missed that. Anyway,
you catch her intense stare, but you aren't really sure why she's staring at you that way.
Wow, what a creepy lady.
She's staring at all of you very hungrily.
Whoa, thirsty chick.
Like her gaze passes to each and every one of you, and the intenseness of her gaze does not falter.
I mean, or she could be an arch-lich.
Heflin, the half-elf, stares at you with barely contained contempt. The dwarf shares a look of sarcastic glee at somebody, and still seems to be writhing in the fact that somebody called Heflin a cunt. And she's still kind of sort of riding that funny high. Wouldn't it just be Rethenir? Wouldn't it just all of a sudden Dinar turns into Ascor and this whole upside down? And Elena, the elf in platinum, is looking at you with a very curious, somewhat judgmental look, but does not break your gaze.
Excuse me, but I was not involved at all. That's all I will say. Thank you. And I'm just gonna like really quickly, like he was looking at each of them. I'm just gonna like glance around really weirdly at each of them and be like, "That is all." And then I'm looking towards a zone of truth person and being like, "See, see."
None of them are looking at you.
Oh.
It's at this point, the dwarf says, she kind of like wipes like a little tear off the side of mirth from before. Well, I know it's not my area of expertise, unlike some Elena here, our esteemed elf sorceress. But I do believe we obtained from them a rather interesting torch, if I do remember. That didn't go out when it was submerged in water. Seems like a item such as that might be something interesting. May lay its way to their tail, or ravel it apart completely. We have several magic users here. I'm sure one of you could do some fancy mumbo jumbo to find out what it does. I don't know. Or you could keep speaking to the person that seems very super convinced that he's on the side of right, like some god-driven god person. I don't know. I just like to listen to facts and magic, not god people. I don't know. That's just me. You tell me what you want to do. And there's like this, like Heflin is like, that's not a bad point. Bring the torch, and you watch as the squire from before, about maybe a minute or three passes. Squire comes forward, holding the torch, still lit, burning just the same it was before. He looks terrified to be holding it, by the way. This is like a boy of like maybe 14.
As he should be.
And the most magic he's ever seen has been the big, flashy, like pressed edition lights that they show up during like the summer solstice. That, you know, like the town has every, like, you know, seasons change and feast day type thing. Like, the torch fell in the water, and it fell in the water, and then, as far as he knew, the torch made the barrel start shaking violently and espousing water. So, he wants nothing to do with it. He kind of like hastily hands it over to the diviner and then runs the fuck out of the room. Like, doesn't wait to be dismissed, doesn't stand in the ceremony, just sprints out of there. Was not happy to be in this situation whatsoever. The diviner stands there for a minute, and you see her eyes all of a sudden go pure white and irisless as she studies the object for a second. And just drops it. This should not be. Should not exist. This should not be here. How did you? Turns to all of you, and like she was like very silent and composed, and like almost like I'm on another plane and not here right now. I'm somewhat to all of this. And the moment she like finished casting Identify, she turns towards all of you. Right. How did you get? Where did this come from? How could you possibly have this? My lords, my ladies, it is of utmost importance. This is returned to wherever it came from. Immediately. And there's this frantic desperation to her face.
To return that from whence it came was the second part of our God and death-given mission.
She turns towards Elena, this woman, says, my lady, I beg, please, if not them, let someone take this wherever it came from. This cannot exist on this plane. Who knows what horrors have unleashed? This is and Elena at this point says, like puts her like hand forward to like stop off this woman that's rambling and is like, my dear, what could that possibly be to hold such terror in your eyes? These vagabonds could have nothing. She's like, I don't know where they got it. I don't know why they have it. And frankly, I don't care. It needs to go away. And if you don't make it go away, I will make sure the Siberium comes down here and makes it go away. And I say that with all the respect that the Siberium has. It gets very quiet, very tense for a second. Very well. Heflin, I say the torch goes backwards. Whatever item it is, I'm sure we can interview our diviner here at leisure. Whatever it was, you said it came from their. It was in their possession. Under with. Yes. Yes, that's where it came from. Fine. Do any of you have anything to say or anything you wish to add to this decision before they make their final vote?
Well, okay, at that exchange, I'll just say then, since I'm super on the spot, and if that incredibly powerful artifact is returned to us, we will complete our mission as our highest priority and as expeditiously as possible, and return it to where it should be.
I'd like the group as a whole, so everyone that's here would be present in this room right now, to all roll a general charisma check, please. This is the group's effort to exude the importance of this artifact and the returning of it.
I just look panicked.
I'm gonna roll a performance T check, just cause.
Yeah, we'll T performance check to see.
Alright, so that's performance plus my proficiencies, 23.
Jesus.
The kids are entranced at your ability to not stop pouring, but transfer to 3 different glasses and spill not a drop.
Haha, see?
Rethanir, I'll say you can add your proficiency bonus to it.
Okay, in that case, 11.
Hey, 3 11s.
Okay. So, the halfling looks towards all of you and he kind of raises his hand and says, I mean, personally, I just kind of want to see him, it seemed kind of waste for the way. I don't see no much harm. I'd like to get him out of here. I vote that under guard, they take that artifact, bring it back wherever they came from. The Diviner can go with him if they want. Our guards will go with him if they want. To certify that they have done what they say they've come here to do. It seemed like honest folk to me. The lady in red says, I agree, but I want them to come back. I might have something for them. Heflin, the half-elf, is beside him. Absolutely not! They will leave the city, and they will never return to it under pain of death immediately! The dwarf says, Death is rather strict there, don't you think, Heflin? I don't care if they come here again or if they don't. But maybe just throw them in the stockade for a little bit. And the woman says, Elena, the platinum elf, looks right at you, Rethanir.
Mm-hmm.
The Divinus speaks true. And I agree with Otto. Send them out with a detachment. Turn this artifact and if you'd be so kind as to never walk into our city again. But however, I cannot stop you. I can, however, stop you from entering the Mage Quarter. So, if you ever enter the Mage Quarter under any of my gods, you will immediately be thrown into the cobblestone stockade, bolted to the walls, and left there to rot. That is my decision. And she gets up and she kind of walks away. Nope.
She cast Spanish on herself.
Can you do that?
I don't know. I'm gonna look into that.
Do you just like...
Because that'd be a much lower level way of casting plane shift.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm a genius!
Oh man, she could have cast maze on you instead of banishment. I didn't even realize that.
Oh!
oh shit, he has a
That-
maze.
She has maze.
That was...
I don't even know what that is.
You don't want to
It's
know.
like
No, I don't want to know. Don't tell me. I like mysteries.
You would have been banished to a labyrinthine demiplane.
What the fuck?
also a really high level spell. Shit. Okay.
Listen, divinos don't mess around, yo.
No, I don't know. Didn't say they did.
She's like, hey,
Yeah.
you want to be deleted? Because I can delete you.
Basically.
Heflin says, very well. We'll take this artifact, you will bring it to where you found it, and you will, if you come by our city ever again, I will make sure the gods keep extreme close eye on all of you. I would love nothing more than to send you all to the gallows myself, but the will of the council governed stands. The vote turns in your favor. Take the torch and get out of here. Hi, Sam. And he stands up and he also leaves.
My lords, our equipment.
The lady in red stands up. Her pursed fingers leave her chin and she kind of stands up. Oh, they'll be returned to you, of course, my dear. So you can impart this artifact. And then please, do come see me.
She thirsty.
Just looking at Ezya's real nice, huh?
I'm gonna say for the sake of brevity, unless I don't know how much longer you guys want to stay up.
I mean,
I need to hop off soonish.
Okay, so this will be the last thing then.
Okay.
I'm me, so however long you want to go. But
For the sake of brevity, because at this point you guys have, most of you have traveled into the Grand Shade Forest. He is not in Andor. And he knew that going into this. For the sake of brevity, you guys have traversed the Green Shade Forest well enough to know where to go exactly to the cave. And you notice as you go through, as you carry the torch, the mist, while still present, is A, somewhat diminished, and B, immediately burns away in parts in about a 20-foot radius around the torch.
yay, no more psychic damage.
Can I just say real quick while we're traveling here? Can someone please explain what the fuck is going on? Oh my god, did I just say that?
I'd assume that Dinar would probably explain everything.
during the whole it's because this is like an hour, honestly, hike from out of the city into the forest, into the depths of the forest. This is maybe 2 hours or so. The entire time, Dinar enthusiastically explains the entire adventure.
Oh my.
Karnoor and Maylnn.
Please go on.
So yeah, then there was this one time, we went up, there's this guy in a tower, and he shot, and the boys really hurt the fuck out of all. But there were bear traps, and then he summoned stone gargoyles that breathed fire, and it was crazy. And I tried to misty step on him, and it didn't work because it never works.
What is with you and doors, by the way? I heard you mention doors a lot.
Oh no, it's just locks and doors, they suck. Also, it's really weird. I never noticed anything. So I don't know why I'm the one telling the story, because I noticed nothing.
You certainly have a way with words.
You eventually get to the cave. As you enter, who's carrying the torch, by the way? Is Eltor still carrying the torch, or did any of you guys take it?
I mean, I would have given it to Eltor, so yeah.
Okay, so as you walk in, Eltor kind of walks a little bit ahead of the group, carrying the torch, and again, there's this 20-foot, almost sphere, with the mist. By the way, Karnoor and Maylnn, you haven't been in this forest before?
It's fucking spooky.
The entire time you're walking, you see faces in the mist.
Oh man, it's a little unnerving.
Which you both know because you've been around the area, that the Green Shade Forest was this way. It's a vast timberland that used to serve as a timber resource for the city of Andor, who exported timber to a lot of the budgeting towns and cities that are cropping up throughout the country of Kurzfaust. But as you walk, you see moaning faces, misty spectral hands reach out, like the souls of the lost and the damned have just encompassed this mist and have nowhere to go. And it unnerves you, both of you, extremely.
So, hold on there, Donar. You cleric, what is this your god's doing? What is this travesty?
This mist is the perversion we sought to undo. Or at least an effect of it.
Well, guess you're not all bad.
To suggest that Kellenbor would sanction or cause such a thing is blasphemy. Recant.
I guess I recant.
Good. I keep walking.
Okay, you all enter the cave, and as you've noticed, by the way, that as the torch gets closer to the cave, the rather standard and steady flickering, this white-hot uniform flame, it starts like a heartbeat getting quicker. Kind of slowly at first as you get, but as soon as you enter the threshold of the cave itself and walk in, it all of a sudden, and it's getting hot. It's getting pretty hot. You can all feel the heat off of this torch as it starts pulsing like a heartbeat, alive, yearning to be somewhere. And as you get close to the corpse of Tanis Nightwinter, where I believe, was it Rethenir and Yafnor spoke to her?
I think it was Reddy and Dinar?
Reddy and Dinar? Okay. So, both of... No, the sister was Sandra. Tanis Nightwinter, I believe, was the... Tanis Nightwater, excuse me. She was the necromancer that stood as the siphon that allowed Xandal to pull the flame from death into the mortal realm but in doing so, it cursed her and it backfired, and it bound her soul as this kind of like in between space between material plane and the astral plane.
Okay, I don't remember.
It's on the wiki.
Given previous experiences in this cave, as we enter, I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians on myself. So.
Okay. You all walk through, and so Maylnn and Karnoor, you see a couple interesting things. You see the slowly decomposing corpse of a green dragon, missing its head. You see a 15-foot pit with spikes at the end of it that seem to have some sort of undead amalgamation clad in armor, with part of the green dragon's head fused into the side of its body. You see a young elven woman with a cracked and broken porcelain mask on her face, dead and bleeding, long dead on the ground, missing both of her legs below the knee because they were cut off by Ezias as she was killed. And you see the skeletal corpse of what looks to be the remnants of a half-elf, with very expensive. You did. Yes, you did. You did bury her. I'm sorry. So then actually, and her feet burnt away. So yes, there is no corpse. There was no. So there was a porcelain mask, but there is no body. Long story short, for Karnoor and Maylnn, some fucked up shit happened in this cave at some point.
I cast mage armor on myself.
Okay. So
I have the necklace, right?
Yes, I'm. At this point, by the way, all of your stuff has been returned to you.
Oh lordy!
Hooray!
And while they're walking, Val walks up to you, Rethanir, gives you a wink, and hands you the sword.
Ooh.
He rolled one higher than the guard's perception on his sleight of hand.
I nod with thanks.
Okay. So you all walk in, and as soon as the torch gets within the past the body of the dragon egg, as you guys remember, Tannis' corpse was in like the back lower end. You get forward, and once you get within about 20 feet of the corpse, the torch flies on its own accord out of Eltor's hand, kind of spinning, stands solid in place, floating about 7 feet off the ground, spinning impossibly fast. And as it spins, you see the mist of the surrounding area get sucked slowly into a vortex around and up into the mist itself. As it spins faster and faster and faster and faster, you start to all of a sudden hear this high-pitched whining sound. Sounded almost like a needle spun impossibly fast, and there's this all of a sudden this slight pop, and then a deafening crack of thunder. You were all thrown to your feet. This thunder wave just bursts out from nowhere, and you look up to see this, for a split second, this terror in reality itself, as the torch creates this golden white hot fragment portal through the plains and shoots itself through. And as it does, all of you make a perception check, though.
Skrr.
I'm good at those mostly.
Ooh, I rolled high.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll another T roll. Ooh. 13.
You try to do the same trick, it doesn't work as well. You missed the last cup. Anybody who rolled and got higher than a 20,
Hell yeah.
you notice a lithe, thin black figure.
Hell no.
For just an instant, like a black hood, faceless, reach a skinny hand through, grab the torch, and you can swear you see a smile. There's no face to have a smile, but you swear you see one. And then it disappears for an instant. Rethanir and Dinar, you see a half-elven face, dark, dour features, dark hair, that comes before you for a split second and just says, "Thank you." There's this another thunder wave, this rift and whatever seals itself for an mist and swirling around in the area before it, over the next minute or two, settles to the ground. The torch is nowhere to be seen. And that is where we will call it for the night.
Woo-woo!
Oh, cool.
Yay!
Hey guys, you didn't get executed by the city.
No.
Hooray!
Through persuasion? Question mark?
I
They
helped.
rolled- to be fair, Eltor rolled really high. And for the final rolls to see which one of you would make it for that general charisma check, the average of that, based on the average of the rolls of the council governed, the council governed rolled real shit.
Hooray!
I helped.
Plus, I lowered the DC. It's okay. Thanks, Might Sir. Go to bed. Thank you so much for hopping back.
Catch you later.
The essentially how I was trying to do it in my head was different council members believed different character testimonies more than others. So depending on which ones essentially were convinced from the character witnesses, that lowered the DC of the overall.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask how influential I was?
You almost raised the DC.
So you're saying I was
Almost.
quite influential.
Yeah.
You were, yes, actually.
Yeah, just not in a good way.
I apologize that I felt like I was doing a lot of talking, and I didn't want to make Eltor and Dinar and Val essentially be a conversation between me and me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks.
No, not having Eltor for the trial was rough, so.
I know. He's the talker of the group.
Meitzler being mute doesn't help.
To be fair, the barbarian is not going to use
Yes.
eloquent speech to,
Still could try.
I think it's safe to say that.
Well,
Actually, never mind. I wasn't involved in that.
I'm kind of glad y'all let me do my. He was evil and needed to die.
I mean, it oddly worked out. So.
I mean,
somehow worked out?
because the dice were in your favor.
Hey man.
And really, honestly, the pivotal role was Eltor stepping in at the beginning. Because he was very keen on sending you over the chopping block.
I mean.
But would you actually have done that to us?
Fuck
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, he
Okay.
totally would have.
Then this literally would have turned into the Haruki show.
It would have been Haruki and 7 new people.
It literally.
I have several backup characters that I'm very excited to try.
That would have been
I
I
would-
refuse.
I would have hated doing it, but that's just how it would have played out.
It just turns into a tea-making D&D session every game.
Because I was trying to make it a bit more adventurous, but I was like, because the way he left it off, this is what was going to happen.
All I request is that we play the various children that are being served tea.
As long as-
I'll make perception checks.
As long as you all can be as cute as Kiri, then I approve of this.
To be fair, the younger son, he's probably pretty close to being Kiri level cute.
That's adorable.
That being said, I can now unlock the council guys' characters.
Hooray!
Wiki.
Alright. Coolio. Thanks,
Yeah, awesome.
Breezy.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
hopefully you guys. I'm
We'll meet
gonna stay for a
soon.
little bit, but hopefully you guys will come back and get to maybe figure out what task the hungry-eyed woman had for you.
Indeed. She just seemed pretty intent to me, yeah.
Listen, you don't pick up on social cues at all. You have no idea if she was staring at you out of lust, potential.
Yeah, she wanted that D. That's all I'm gonna say. As a person who wasn't in the
Or
room, she wanted that deal.
or just because she was super interested in us, or very convinced by our story. You know, I have no idea.
Let's be real.
Also, again, if anybody really wants to know, the Fallen Flame is an artifact on the wiki now. If you wanted to find out kind of sort of what...
Oh my god, it's so scary.
Yeah! It's stupid powerful, but for a reason.